Alrighty guys, welcome back to Rent a Garby Iron Company. We're still trucking along on the Backbreaker, getting ready for Old School Roundup. And if you guys are returning to watch or finish out this train wreck of a whole set of videos to get this car ready for Old School, that's awesome. I appreciate you coming back because this has like snowballed into a train wreck. Long story short, guys, we got a whole bunch of stuff figured out this week, a whole bunch of stuff put back together, and let's get into it. And I'll show you guys everything that happened in the past 4 days of what it took to make this car. Well, technically, we don't even know if it's done because I haven't even test drove it yet. But this is all the stuff I found to get to this point. So let's get after it, guys. Well, guys, we went on ahead, cleaned all the spark plugs anyway, put them back in. One plug wire was kind of screwed up where the little crimpy part is, so I fixed that. We know it's down on compression. Like this side's way worse than that side. This is like on like 50 pounds. That one's like 75. So this motor is tired. That being said, the car did run great one of the last times I took it out. Now, mind you, like 8 or 9 years ago, we took it to the sand drags and ran the local sand drags just as like a run what you brung kind of class. So in the past like 15 years, this car has been down the drag strip, a sand drag strip, which is like, what, 300 feet, 400 feet, something like that. It's been down the drag strip maybe 10 times. I'll say 15 max, including test and tune time and stuff like that. And it's been to Glamis 2024, right about the time Old School Roundup, but Merlin's birthday party thing, stuff like that. It went out then. And we drove it basically around camp. That's when it was having the fuel problems. And we drove it out to Oldsmobile Hill and once and back. That's all miles this thing's had on it. When I did the sand drags, car ran great. It ran really, really good. So I can't imagine the sand drags and just a little bit of the sand dunes that we did was enough to burn the motor up. Like, there's no way. So I'm pretty sure even though it's got crappy compression, it's still gonna run fairly decent. Mind you, it's really cold in here. Like it's, well, I mean, I got the heater going, but it's still 50 degrees in here, 48 degrees in here. Anyway, long story short, put it all back together. Checked all the valves. None of the valves are tight, so I'm not worried about, seepage past the valve and nothing like that. We're gonna go ahead and fire it and see what happens. See if cleaning spark plugs was enough to help, like, do something. Because, I mean, if that doesn't take care of the problem, like, there's no reason. I'm not sure I can get cylinders in time and rings and stuff like that. So anyway, we're gonna see if this thing fires up. Going on with this thing? Like, am I just not getting fuel through these crappy carburetors? Like, I mean, they're Delordos, they should be great. Not getting fuel through these damn carburetors. No suction. Well, guys, this totally changes our plans now. We're supposed to leave in like 2 weeks to go. I'm not sure I can get parts here. This is how not good this is. Like, this is how little suction and how little compression we have over here. Like, there's no suction whatsoever. Watch this. Nothing. Like, it doesn't suck it down at all. At least on the other side, it'll do something. Let's see. This side at least does something. I'm almost certain I can hear stuff coming out down here. Looks like we're pulling a motor out. That's the only thing I can think of doing now is tearing the entire motor out and stripping it down. I mean, it's got to get fixed regardless. It doesn't do no good if it ain't running. Oh, that sucks. That just added so much more work and so much more money. Well, guys, let's get after it, I guess. Alrighty guys, we got this thing torn down to looking like this. And I just noticed, remember I was saying like right over this general vicinity, there was like a noise. Sounded like there was some air coming out, whatnot. Well, they port matched these intakes so much, there's very, very little left. And you can actually see where it blew the gasket out. So here was the gasket. You can see where it was blown out right there. So we definitely had an intake leak. Now, mind you, that doesn't change a single thing for compression. Like, the rings are wasted in this thing. But that at least tells me, like, we had an intake leak as well. So, I don't know if I'm going to try and get in here and weld. They should have welded on this and then resurfaced it so it had more meat there. I know back in the day I've seen guys do that with the JB weld because you're not looking for like material to like port into. Like I've seen people port through these heads and use JB weld to fill them and like keep porting. I think I might fill that up with some JB weld and then surface it just so the gasket has a bigger bite on it. I don't know, we'll see when that time comes, but first things first, we're gonna get the heads off, get everything torn down, and actually wonders are. Oh dear. Look at the gap. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's 280. 170. That one's 170. That's not. That's still horrible. 140. She definitely needs rings. Look at the gap. Oh my God. Alrighty guys, you saw what what I found and what I saw. Long story short, the rings are just fried. Like piston rings are just done, you know, like, man, that sucks. That being said though, I mean, it's a plus because all the pistons are still good and all the jugs are still good. We may have to hone them, big deal, put a nice crosshatch back in them so the new rings do good and break in good. But hey, if that's all that it is, I'll have rings here in a couple of days and get the motor back together and get the car put back together. Now that I know this is a big part of why the car is not running right or not even firing correctly, that helps. I'm still going to go through these carburetors again. I have to. Like there's no reason they're not working properly. And again, alrighty guys, that was kind of weird. Camera just shut off. Going back to what I was saying, we are still going to go through the carburetors one more time just because it's easy, it's free, it's we got time. I gotta wait for rings to show up and stuff. So alrighty guys, we got parts today. Last night we decided it was time to just call it quits. We had rings. Well, I bought a set of rings, but they weren't gonna be here for like 2 or 3 days. But then I found out a buddy of, well, I guess a buddy of mine, he knows a guy that used to have a performance shop here in town, and he moved to his house and had a set of rings in stock. Like, you can't beat that with a stick. So that being said, we got rings to put this bad dog back together. So one of the things that we had to do was, or that I'm gonna do is, where that gasket blew out on the intake right here, we're gonna fill this whole thing with JB weld on both of these. And what we're gonna do is let them dry overnight, and then we will, I don't want to say machine them, but we're going to try and like machine them flat. So that way the gasket has more meat to like seal against. Again, this doesn't have to be like 100% perfect because we're not like porting into it. It's not going to be sealed. The chamber's already sealed. This is just like backing for the gasket. So we're going to do that right now. And then after that, we'll start, I'm gonna wire wheel all the cylinders and get all the crud off of them right here and hone them so the new rings have something to seat against and start cleaning up all these parts. So we got parts, we're moving along. This is, I have 2 more weekends before we leave and I still have to work on the trailer. So, but see how this all pans out. Keep you guys updated. Alrighty guys, we went ahead and got the JB weld all set up, all packed in there all the way around. And hopefully, like I say, once that stuff cures, this is the quick stuff, so it should like should be setting. Should be like totally cured in like 5-6 hours. That being said, by tomorrow, we can get in there and smooth it out, and hopefully that's enough backing around that it doesn't blow that gasket again. So, woo! Now let's go on to pistons. Well, pistons, cylinders, rings, honing, all that happy poo. And who knows, we might actually even take the time and clean the block a little bit. I doubt it, but why not? Well, I would say it ran like this before, but I mean, as you guys saw, I didn't run like this before, so. We're probably gonna leave dirty. Alrighty guys, we got rings put back on, all those cylinders nice and honed and fresh, you know, as best as they're gonna get. So got that part put back together. Now it's time to do the heads. Now remember, we did the JB weld setup right here. And again, the purpose of that was not for anything other than gasket backing, so the gasket doesn't blow out the side. So after sitting here with the die grinder, die grinding it all up, or a Dremel tool, I'm sorry, doing all the dremeling, that black Sharpie mark right there, that's how much material we added. So originally it was only that big. We added almost a 1/4 inch of material right here on both sides. Now again, like I say, I'm not too worried about being JB weld because it's not like we're porting into it. It's just for gasket backing. So I'm gonna get after the other one now because this has been setting up overnight and get this motor put back together.
Sounds right.
Yeah, I feel like a dummy. All right, I'm pretty sure I found another reason why this thing wasn't running right. I already did one carburetor and did the other. I'm doing the other one right now. And one thing I did not check, which I didn't even think about checking, was the actual needle and seat. I don't know why I didn't think about checking it, but it is blatantly obvious it's not moving. So like the springy in the needle is moving, but the actual like needle and seat is not moving down. So at least it's not moving down the way it should be. It should be like falling down. So I'm gonna take this thing apart, clean it out. And I'm pretty sure I found another problem. These carburetors just gummed up that I didn't clean properly. Go figure. My bad. Whew, boy. Alrighty, guys, we got carburetors rebuilt. Motor's back together. It's going in right now. Short of exhaust. And I'm gonna take that sump off. It doesn't need to be there. This motor is not as radical as I was told it was. Like, it's a decent motor, but it's not as radical. It doesn't have like really thin cylinder walls like I thought it did, stuff like that. So we can go, I don't think the oil is gonna get that hot. On top of that, it's got a decent oil cooler. It's got a separate oil filter, stuff like that. So we're gonna 86 that sump. But for now, let's get the thing back in.
Sounds right.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty, guys, this kind of sucks. They tack welded the extension on. So if you look up inside right there, there's a tack weld. Now, mind you, everything I've ever seen on these guys, and darn, that's good. I mean, it guaranteed it didn't come off, but the problem is that, like, once it slides on and the bottom goes on, it can't fall out. Like, it goes against the screen right here. So there's no reason to tack weld it. Like normally they go on and you put a hose clamp on them. Yeah. So now I got to figure out how to break the tack weld because I can't cut because I don't want to get grinding stuff up inside the motor. I'm gonna have to figure out how to like cut this or break it. Yeah, buddy. Just a little bit of wiggling. We got it broke off. Nice. Alrighty, guys. We've got this thing all put back together. We've got carburetors rebuilt. We found out the needle and seats were pretty dirty, so we got that stuff taken care of. We got oil in it. We've got oil lines hooked up. We've got everything set in this thing. We're gonna go ahead and leave the ignition wire off, give it some crank, and see if we can build some oil pressure. And then we're gonna see if she runs back to normal. I guess let's see if she starts. That scared me. Something's not right. I have no idea, guys. I don't know. I'm beside myself right now. One, I hate Delortos. They're very, very finicky. Two, I hate dual carbs. Like, I'm contemplating now, like, possibly just buying a whole carb kit and putting a single carb on this thing. I don't know, guys. I'm going to have to run the valves one more time to see if the valves are too tight on one side or something like that. But I don't understand why. I mean, I know I bumped up the compression with brand new rings, but I don't know why this side has a push out. That side has, like, this cylinder right here, number, what is this? Would be 3. This 4 works perfect. 3's having a problem spitting back, and both 1 and 2 don't feel like they're sucking air in. And like a dummy, when I did this, I even said to myself I was going to do it. I was going to pour some gas in each chamber of the heads and see if it has a burned valve. I didn't do that, and now we're here. I'm wondering if that head over there, 1 and 2, have burned valves in it. Well, for that matter, I wonder if number 3 has a burned valve also. Nah, I don't know, guys. Anyway, that's the update for now, and I'll put it this way. If I can't figure this out in the next couple of days, we might be throwing the sand rat back together. Or I might be finding like a little 1600 and taking this motor all the way out and just swapping motors, because I'm still going. We're definitely still going, but I'm not going to fight this motor anymore. Like, I'm over it. Especially these carburetors. I'm definitely over these carburetors. Alrighty, guys, we're going to go ahead and do a leak down test on this. And most of you guys watching this stuff already knows what this is, but some of you don't. Long story short, what we're going to do is we're going to add air pressure into the cylinder, and we're going to try and figure out how much is bypassing. So like, if it was a solid cylinder, like chamber, and there was no leakage, if you put 100 pounds of air in, this gauge will read 100 pounds. So you have no like bypass, no leakage. Now let's say like you have bad rings and you have air going, you have air going past your rings. This section right here, what is actually going in the cylinder, the residual pressure, like if you're putting in 100 pounds and let's say you only have 80 pounds, you have a 20% leakage. Like you're bypassing 20% of the pressure into the crankcase past the rings. This is a good way to tell if you have bad rings. If we hear air through, like let's say we turn this thing on right now, we hear air through the intake, that means we have a bad intake valve and air is bypassing the valve seat and going back. Likewise with the exhaust. If it's coming out the exhaust pipe and we can hear air going that direction, we have a bad exhaust seat. So let's see how bad the leakage is in this motor. Right now we're on cylinder number 1. Oh my gosh. Something's not right at all. So I got 100 PSI in right now, and I'm only got a residual pressure of, give or take, like 58 pounds. So that's like, what, 40% right there? But I can't hear anything specific. I can hear it coming through the crankcase, which that's a given. You always get something past the rings. This just doesn't seem right at all. I'll get back with you guys. I'll do some research and some looking into this. Well, guys, this is definitely a problem. So we pulled this thing off, and you can kind of get in here and hear. Now let's see if I can make it as known. So we're gonna set this guy up like right over here. Oh yeah. Either the head is messed up, either the head is messed up or the top edge of the cylinder or something. So I'm gonna do a leak down on the other cylinder again, and I wonder if this head is messed up. Alrighty guys, number 1 cylinder. Front cylinder on passenger side. Put a little balloon over the venturi and a balloon over the exhaust. Ah, look at it. Look at it grow. Yep, we're getting air out the exhaust, but nothing out the intake. So the intake valve is fine. Alrighty, I went ahead and set up cylinder number 3 the same way. So it's all set up right now, top dead center. We got a balloon on top right here and a balloon on top right here. And let's see what happens here. So we're gonna start bleeding off. Oh, look at that thing. Right out the exhaust valve. Yep. Like nothing out the intake, but definitely out the exhaust. Man, that sucks. That is definitely a problem. Sometime today it'll pop. Ooh, boy, it's getting bigger and bigger. Ah, there it goes. Definitely a problem. Alrighty guys, we got both the heads off. If you look right here, you can see it blowing past the end right here and a little bit past right here where we were losing compression. This side doesn't look bad at all. Like this is just the oil drippage, stuff like that. So that definitely was the reason why that one was coming out the side, which if you look right there, you can see where it blew out the carbon. You can see there was carbon buildup on the head right here. And I just didn't clean it very well. And you can see the other one right there coming out the side. And oddly enough, I didn't clean them at all. So, whew, boy, alrighty guys, I've been trucking on these heads. We got them all cleaned up the best we can for what's here. Now, these heads have been ran hard, and it's obvious. So check it out. So some of these valves have a fairly decent seat on them. They're still pretty big, but some of them go down to almost nothing. Like the seats are just wore out. That one's not too bad, but you can see how small it gets right here versus how big it is right there. And then on the other head, look how small the intakes are. Like that one's pretty small. This one's pretty big, but you can see how much stuff is stuck in them. And then same here. This one's pretty decent size as far as big goes. But the surface of the angle isn't flat. Like if, I'm not sure the camera can pick it up. So all I can basically say is where the shiny spot is, it's a divot. It's not perfectly flat like it's supposed to be. So the contact pattern, the valves have wore into the seats as far as like the contact pattern. So now bears the question, do I just try and lap them, put it back together and see if it'll run for the weekend? Or do I do this right and go have a valve job done on the valves and the heads? I've got the tool to do all the valve job. Do I want to chance it? I don't know, we'll see what happens here. I'm gonna call a shop tomorrow morning just to see how much they charge and if they even have the ability for them to get done in a couple of days. If not, looks like we're doing a valve job. But that being said, guys, I'm done for the day. Like, I'm not gonna try and keep pushing on this. I'm gonna go through my valve job stuff or my valve tool stuff to see if I have the die, like the grinding stone, to do the heads. So, other than that, guys, looks like we gotta do a valve job. Alrighty, guys, real quick, just to give you a very rudimentary way how this thing works. So you've got this guide that slides in like this. So you can tighten this little guy up, and that holds the stem in. And then you've got this guy that slides down over it, that spins. And then you have like an electric drill motor that goes on the back right here and spins this thing. And then what you got to do is you got to find the right size stone. Like this one would go down. Come on. And then what it does is you can spin this and it basically grinds the seats. And that's how you make a new edge on the seats. You take these stones. So like I say, you set this thing up, you have a little drill motor, it goes on the end right here, and this thing spins, and that's how you grind a new seat in it. Now, the other half of this tool that you put the actual valves into, that's at my mother-in-law's house. That was part of my father-in-law's. This is all my father-in-law's old stuff that I get to use. That whole tool is still set up there. And if we do this, I'll take you guys up there and show you how that tool works. It's basically like a big grinder that's specifically meant for the valve angles. You can set it for 3 different angles if you want. Actually, you can set it for any angle, but usually they call it a 3-angle valve job. And then you can also surface the end of the valve. But before I do it, I'm gonna call and see how much it costs for somebody to do it that does this religiously, that has all the specific right tools. Because again, I know I don't have all the right stones and stuff like that. I'll have to look into seeing how much the stones cost. But hey guys, I'll get back with you. So that's the jive right now. We're waiting on a valve job. I'll let you guys know what comes out of this. Oh yeah, that's a heck of a lot better. So that's the angle of the dangle we need. So those 2 stones. So you can see how dark it is right here, and see how light this whole thing is, how shiny it is, how big this one is compared to this one. Let's see if we can do this one again real quick. Yeah. Them apples, baby. We're doing our own self valve job. Yeah. So retarded. Dummy. All right. So you can see how much bigger all the seats are now. And then we still have to go cut the valves, and then we'll lap the valves with valve lapping compound. Oh my God. But everybody has always done them with like the little suction cuppy and you spin them. I've seen plenty of people now, and this is the way I do it now, is you take like a rubber tube, you stick it on the bottom of the valve, and you spin it from the bottom of the drill. So you're not sitting here trying to rub your hands. But regardless, we got to take the heads now and all the valves, go to the in-laws, and do all the actual valves now. So let's pack everything up, head up there. Alrighty guys, we're back up here. This is the other half of the tool, okay? So now this whole tool is just designed specifically to grind valves, and that's it. Now, it's got 2 halves of the same machine. This half right here is, you stick a valve in right here, it tightens up right here, you lift this whole thing like this, and it grinds the end of the valve, like where the rocker arm hits. This side is what does the actual taper. So it's this surface right here that grinds. This thing spins. That's a grinder that spins, obviously. And then you have this handle here, and you run it across, back and forth. And that's how you use this surface to grind that side right here. And I'll show it to you in a second. Now, there are specific ways to set this machine up to do like multiple valves in a row. We're not doing that. Okay, we are doing this very rudimentary, very quick, just so we can get this thing put back together. So I'll set this thing up, show it to you guys on how I've used it before. I mean, I've used this thing hundreds of times, but regardless, this is how we're doing it today. So right now, this chuck is already set up for a 45-degree angle. So all we're gonna do now is we're gonna turn the machine on, we're gonna let this thing spin, we're gonna bring it over to here, and we're gonna back this whole head this way until it barely touches the valve. And then it'll grind the back of the valve right here nice and smooth. This part right here, it'll be nice and smooth. So let's see how she does. There we go, we're just barely touching right now. And now you can hear it. Sorry guys. So now we can hear it. And now that's got a nice big flat surface on it now. Now again, like I say, we're not trying to cut a bunch off the valve. We're just trying to take all the junk and the carbon off of it. So now it makes it a nice smooth surface all the way around like that. Like you can still see the pitting right here. Like I should go a little bit more with this. Actually, I still might. Just a tad bit more. And I'm going to call that one done. Like I say, it just had to be enough to clean up that smooth surface. Now a 3 angle would be another angle that way, and another angle that way, and I ain't doing that. So, again, just for old school. I'm definitely not going anymore on this valve. So, no matter what, it's coming out, and what it is, it is. So, I'll clean it all off, and now we have a really good mating surface all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and repeat this 6 more times, and we're going to head back to the house. So let's get after it, guys. Alrighty, guys. I did some lapping compound and ran it for a few seconds. Now, I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick it up or not, but we'll do our best here. Now, you can see half of this is shiny and half of it is not anymore. Now, that half that is not is actually what's touching the seat. The half that's shiny, basically everything from halfway up, is not touching anything. So that means we're only getting about half the valve seat touching the valve, half the valve touching the valve seat. Again, my stones, like obviously these things are wore out and used up and whatnot. I think if I had brand new stones that were perfectly 45 to be better, I'm not waiting for stones. So half a valve it is, or half a valve seat it is. So I'm gonna run through, do all these guys, and do the other head, and we'll put this thing back together. I'll show you if anything catastrophic happens, but that's what we're dealing with. Alrighty, guys, we're sitting here working on the car, putting the heads back together and stuff like that. And I get a phone call. Well, my daughter gets a phone call, and it's my oldest daughter from the military. So she's out in now doing her training for being a Marine. Say hi, baby girl. Hi. I'm going to get back to talking with her and get back to building a car. So talk to you guys later. Alrighty, guys. Motor is back together. Hopefully for the last time. Let's see if she starts. Like, I have no more preamble. It just is what it is now. Let's see if she starts. Let's see what happens. Wow. about had it, guys. What is wrong with this thing? What is wrong with this car? Guys, I don't know what's going on. I just don't know what I'm doing, I guess. At least I got some suction now on those two. How about these two? I don't know why this one keeps shooting back up. Oh my God! Woo! What is going on? What is the deal? All right, I give up for tonight. I'm done. Hey guys, if you're watching this stuff, I hope you follow along for this train wreck that's happening right now. I have no idea what the heck's going on with all this junk. Anyway, guys, I don't needless to say anything anymore. Oh boy. Alrighty, guys, this is a train wreck. Like, that's all I can say. It's like the gods above are telling me I don't need to go to Old School Roundup, or at least take this car. I'll dig in this a little bit more and let you guys know what's going on. But anyway, I would say if you like what you see, but apparently nothing I do actually works. So anyway, that being said, guys, I'll see you guys on the next video. And hopefully the Backbreaker is going to run. Well, that sucks. Alrighty, guys, like a dummy, I went through the firing order again. I had 4 and 3 backwards. Now let's hope and pray this thing starts. Oh my gosh, dude, this has been such a journey. We got that figured out. It wants to fire up and run now, but it still doesn't want to idle for nothing. Go figure.